Hi, everybody. It's Burge. I'm back. Yay. Are you ready to get Burged today? Today is day 3 of our Essence of Being and Conscious Leadership Communication and Leadership Challenge. We're ready to go with day 3. So, welcome those of you who don't know me. I'm Burge Smith Lyons. I'm the founder of Essence of Being and the Conscious Leadership Academy. I've been doing this kind of work for 37 years. So, welcome. And those of you who've been following along, welcome back. And certainly, I hope that the last 2 days have been beneficial for you about communication. So today is the last day of the communication challenge. Tomorrow we start the leadership challenge. So just to review, yesterday we had step 1 and step 2 of effective communication. And some of you wrote in the post, which I encourage all of you to do, is to post your awarenesses, your ahas, anything that you'd like to share so that we can all learn from each other. And then I can answer any questions that you have. So one of the people talked about their booby traps yesterday, and that's the intentional communication. Remember, step 1 is being present, and step 2 is taking responsibility for your own communication versus reacting. All right. So we're going to do step 3 and 4 today, but I just wanted to comment. Yesterday, someone mentioned their booby traps and what they can do once they realize the awareness of they're saying things out loud that maybe may not serve, right? So one of the things you can do is you can do a pinch and shift. So it's just a pattern interrupt. So if you find yourself saying things that maybe they just don't serve anymore, like I'm sick and tired, okay, you just pinch yourself and shift to a new thought. So the pinching puts your focus to another part of your body, and then you create a new thought from that and say, if you say I'm sick and tired, then you can pinch yourself and say, oh, until recently I felt sick and tired. Now I choose great health and energy. Even if you don't feel it, right? So it's really important to understand what you're saying, that it creates something. It creates a vibration. So again, look at the comments, post your comments on this group, and we can all learn from each other. So let's get to step 3 and step 4 for communication. All right. Before I do that, as I always do, I like to pull a card, an Essence of Being card. Okay. And these again are focuses for our day. It's a message. And we always pull the perfect card for the day. And today is intention is everything. Yeah. Intention is everything. If you are unsure about your direction, ask, what is my intention for this outcome? Create the roadmap for your energy to follow. So that's what we're doing together, is we are creating our intentions together about being more conscious creators and conscious communicators and conscious leaders. Because with the Conscious Leadership Academy, we are building a global movement of conscious leaders, empowering others to create a win-win world. Yay. So that's my intention. And it's about that really does help you have a focus and a roadmap for the day. So be mindful of your intentions. So step 3, all right, of effective communication today is synergy, creating synergy. So what is synergy? The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Okay. And I'm going to be giving you, remember, on every day I give you a little bit of home play to do so that you can practice. Okay, some tips and things for this challenge to see how you improve. So just notice when you're talking with someone, you're not the only one in the room, right? So sometimes we think we are. So when I say the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, what I mean is there's you and then there's somebody else, and together it makes us. So there's a whole nother energy, a whole nother entity. Okay. So just remind yourself that you're not the only one communicating. What's going on with I'm having issues with my, okay. So anyway, so the thing is 1 + 1 = 3. So there's you and there's someone else. And then when you come together, it makes us. And when you create synergy, you're creating resolution as opposed to compromise. So sometimes when people are speaking with each other and communicating, again, they forget they're not the only one in the room, right? And they want to come to a compromise if they have differing opinions. And compromise is okay, but compromise has a kind of a different kind of energy than a resolution. All right. So when you try to compromise when you're in an argument with someone, sometimes you'll give in and say, yeah, okay, I'll let you win this time, but you owe me. So there's this feeling of, all right, it's my turn next, quid pro quo, right? So instead of having that feeling of compromise, I suggest, in order to create synergy, is to have a feeling of resolution. Everybody has a voice. And everybody has opinions about things, and especially these days, right? So when you're in an argument, listen actively. Remember, step one is being present and actively listening, and then tell your truth with compassion. The odds of both of you seeking harmony and resolution will be greater if you can respect that and understand that you might be coming from two different opinions and two different perspectives. So a difference of opinion is natural and it's expected, okay? So don't change your mind to avoid the conflict. I know a lot of people do that. So they don't want to have a conflict, so they change their mind and they, quote, give in. And as you know, winning and losing is not the goal here. It's not about winning the argument, but a lot of people want to be right. My suggestion is just notice. Are you seeking harmony and resolution? Then yay. Okay, so most people forget about that part. So if you're willing to trust yourself and have empathy with other people, then you can seek cooperation and have a resolution. All right, so that's step 3. Now, step 4 in having more effective conscious communication is to say, for me, the truth is. So telling your truth with compassion. Many of you might tell your truth, but it may not be compassionate. Many of you may be afraid to tell your truth, so you don't even speak up. Okay, but step 4 is really learning how to step up, tell your truth with compassion, and a tool that you can use to do this, it's 5 words. For me, the truth is. So if you find yourself in an argument or you feel like it's getting heated in your communication, one of the things you can say to model resolution is say, look, for me, the truth is this. Now, the other person may not agree with you, but they cannot disagree they cannot argue that that's not your truth. So if you find yourself always, just coming at blows with people and you're afraid, just say, for me, the truth is. And practice that today. That's one of your assignments today, okay? Is practicing saying, for me, the truth is this. This is how I feel. Now, sometimes, again, people may not agree with you. However, they cannot say that's not your truth. So you're basically setting a tone for your communication to be more conscious. So they can say the same thing. Well, what's your truth? What do you feel? What do you think? Another tool, so that's step 4. So some of the tools that I want to give you a couple more tools to use in being an effective conscious communicator. Another tool that you can use is using I statements. I feel, I know, I think, I will. Instead of saying, I can't, okay? So be right back. All right. Thank you for that. So the point here is if you say I statements instead of you, okay, then you're not going to be holding blame. So people sometimes will think they're blaming, okay? Let's see what this is happening here. Okay. So if you use I statements and you say, for me, the truth is, then all will be well. Okay. That it's a tool that you can use to have more effective communication. The other thing you can do is you can ask clarifying questions. So if you're one of those people that are afraid to speak up, because you're afraid people might think you're stupid, or you think people think you're stupid, ask clarifying questions. Don't be afraid to say, I have a clarifying question, because that puts the ownership onto the person who's communicating so that they can be more clear. And so what you're saying to that other person is, you weren't clear. I didn't get it. And so it puts a whole nother thing of a whole nother energy of you being able to say, I have a question. So it alleviates that feeling if you're one of those kind of people that don't want to appear stupid or don't get it or whatever it looks like or feels like to you. Okay. So just to reiterate, step 1 is be present. Step 2, take responsibility for your communication instead of reacting. Step 3 is creating synergy, finding a resolution where you both have empathy, trust, and respect. And 4 is telling your truth with compassion. And again, using the term or the words, for me, the truth is. So that is your assignment today, your challenge today, my friends. And please post in the group what happens today. So just practice and be mindful of saying, for me, the truth is, when you're talking to people. And just watch and see if the energy shifts and changes, okay? The other thing that you can do is say a lot of I feel, use a lot of I statements when you're speaking today and communicating with people. Okay, now if you want to go a little further into this, I am wanting to delve into this in a really deep way. So October 3rd, I am offering an Essence of Being, an Essence of Communication 5-hour virtual workshop. Okay, so if you've gotten anything from these first 2 days and then today, we're going to be doing an in-depth, live, experiential, doing exercises together, October 3rd. Okay, the Essence of Communication. It's a 5-hour virtual workshop. We're going to take breaks in between, and there'll be a link here on the post. You're posting here, it'll have a link for you to look at, just find out more about it and go ahead and register. It's October 3rd from 10 to 3 Eastern Standard Time. Okay, and that's going to be the virtual workshop on Essence of Communication. And what we will go into a lot more in depth is all about your beliefs and your blocks to listening and creating synergy and more intentional communication, how to come to a consensus, how to resolve conflicts. That'd be nice to know right now. There's a lot of people having arguments. Okay, so how do you resolve conflicts? Giving you more tools for that effective communication. Talking about learning styles and needs-based behaviors that people have, where you can just watch people and observe them, and you can see what kind of fears they have, motivations they need, and what their needs are. How important would that be? Yes, very important. And we're also going to learn how to go behind the words, because a lot of times people's words and their body language, they're not congruent. And so it's really tapping into that intuition and that empathy that's so needed, that emotional intelligence that's so needed in communication and leadership, of course. Okay, so join us October 3rd, and you can click on the link and see more about it and register. It's going to be jam-packed. So if you felt like and feel like these are impactful for you, definitely join us, check us out. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to start our leadership challenge. It is about leadership. The essence of leadership can be you're a leader of yourself, of your family, of a community, of a group, of a team. How do you show up as a conscious leader? So these last 3 days have been about communication, and the next 3 are going to be about leadership. And I invite you to join us again tomorrow live so you can comment and post questions and be here. Those of you who are here, thank you for being here, and say whatever you want to say on these posts, okay? So I'll be back at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, and we will do the essence of leadership tomorrow, okay? So until then, what you focus on expands, and go out there and communicate consciously.